Hi traders, welcome back. Lockie here. Hope you're absolutely magic. Welcome back to part 3 of the series. As what we're doing is we are cutting through the hype. Guys, there's lots of information out there on the internet about how to be a professional trader. Suffice to say, we have more than 70 traders in the live trading room already. I've got more than 20 traders under training to work as part of a private hedge fund capability. As I would love you to be part of that journey. We are literally slowly but surely changing the game of day trading education in Asia, soon to be the world. And we're doing that, ladies and gents, because the markets we're trading are not manipulated, and we can get on with some really exciting strategies and get on with the job of making some really exciting money. Now, in part 3, what we're going to be doing is I want to talk to a couple of points. Firstly, how to succeed as a day trader, and secondly, the 5 laws of consistent trading. The reason we're going to do this, ladies and gents, is because I also want to show you the power of $100 as a daily goal, what that looks like over the next 2 to 3 years if you take advantage of compounding. So a very, very exciting video. Now, how to succeed as a day trader, guys. Now, this is very much the world according to Lockie, if you don't mind. This is the skeleton we use to train all of our professional traders at Samurai. So step number 1, guys, we've got to understand that futures trading, as we've covered in the previous video, is a 2-team game. Buyers versus sellers, and the stronger team must win. All we do is identify the team that is failing and join the other team. So ultimately, trading with Samurai is therefore quite simple. It's easy to do when compared, I should say, to almost every other form of trading. Step number 2, guys, understand that simplicity is your key to success in trading. Traders are constantly romanced by complexity. Guys, that is a temptation we must avoid. How do we avoid that? By trading together every day in a live trading room. Step number 3 is understand that if you follow an already proven trading method using the same strategies, tactics, targets, and risk control that we use, as you should ultimately achieve the same results as we do, you should also achieve those results rather quickly as well. Step number 4, guys, please note that as Samurai traders, we all trade the same markets at the same time every day using the same strategies and the same tactics used by the professional trading team and our best traders. Guys, what it ultimately means is this offers every trader globally an equal opportunity to get very good at trading, even as if you have very, very limited experience in the game of trading. Now, success with Samurai, guys, is simple if you are happy to join the Samurai momentum. So a big hint, if I can give you, as we hunt as a pack, we empower each other by helping each other. We do not compete with each other. Guys, we focus on what works. And a big point here, guys, we also ignore what does not work, like 2-minute chart trading and triple clusters, for example. Now, we can get into that, guys, in the live trading room if we need to. Now, we certainly don't MSU, guys, which is make strategy up on the run. We work towards mastery by following the 5 laws of consistency I'm about to take you through. We don't contaminate our strategy with untested opinions, particularly if those opinions are from people that don't actually trade. You'd be amazed at the number of people that say to me, trading doesn't work. And it's like, wow, well, it's been working for me since August 2007. So ultimately, why doesn't it work for you? But that's probably a deeper, guys, more sensitive question. We ultimately seek to build a family of like-minded traders globally who all target success as professional traders. And guys, that success as professional traders means we target a plus 90% strike rate on a daily basis. Now, what we mean, guys and girls, if you don't mind, by MSU, don't make strategy up on the run. So what does it mean? A big hint to you, regardless of whether you become part of Samurai or not. What I want you to do is make sure you never trade an untested strategy. As if you are going to make up your own strategy, please make sure you test it properly before you actually start trading real money. In the case of my strategy, I started developing it in August 2007. I've done more than 3,500 live trading room sessions now with more than 10,000 trades that have been spoken about in those sessions. So key point is you can come and use a tested, proven strategy that we've actually tested over thousands of trades if you want. Flip side is if you want to go and invent your own, that's okay. It's just going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort before you can actually start trading for real. As interesting point, please don't just jump into the market and pray you get it right. As please don't hold trades over the weekend in case there is a correction against you. Please also don't hold trades overnight. once again, in case there is a correction against you. Now, for those that haven't traded before, as holding a trade over the weekend means you literally buy on the Friday and you hold it all the way over the weekend while the market is closed, hoping that on the Monday the market moves in your direction. That's not very robust, may I suggest, guys and girls, because there could be a geopolitical event over the weekend that blows your trade up completely. Now, as that being said, there's no such thing in trading as 100% strike rate. We can get very, very close to that, but there is no such thing as the golden bullet. So you've got to be very, very careful, guys. We don't follow these gurus on the internet that talk about the golden bullet strategy. It just simply does not exist. We'll talk about the 111 principle shortly. Suffice to say, if you follow the 111 principle, you're going to be in a good place. If you don't, guys, you could have some problems. This video is not only about cutting through the hype and informing you, but it's also empowering you to be really, really good as a trader. Guys, we're not allowed to take trades when the markets are closed. I think that's pretty obvious, but suffice to say, it's worth mentioning. Guys, and also there's a number of traders I met in Malaysia recently who trade palm oil, guys, but they trade without a stop loss because they're sick of the brokers hunting the market and manipulating the market against them. I'd say to all the palm oil traders, particularly in Malaysia, you could actually come and trade palm oil using a futures contract, and as a result of that, you wouldn't have to worry about being manipulated, guys. Suffice to say, as you may have heard the expression, two wrongs don't make a right. As there's lots of people out there in the world of trading who've been trading with brokers for a long time, who've realized they can switch to futures, no brokers, they can use a proper stop loss, they can use a proper target, and they can get on with the job of being brilliant. But something else I want you to avoid like the plague is swing trading. There's a lot of people out there in the world that talk about swing trading. I've never actually met a successful swing trader. So if you are doing research in what you would do in the game of trading, guys, please be very, very careful with swing trading, unless, of course, the person that is teaching you can provide you with a proof set of more than 1,000 trades where they say, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. Guys, that's 1,000 screenshots you're going to have to work through. That's a fair campaign. As ultimately the last one, if you will, in terms of don't make strategy up, please don't use indicators and market profiling tools that are not designed for the time frame chart you're using. Now, this might sound a little bit technical, guys, but I'm a 5-minute futures chart trader. As a result, I don't use indicators that are designed for larger time frame charts. For example, market profiling tools, guys, are completely useless on a 5-minute chart. They're good fun, guys, on maybe a 4-hour chart and a daily chart and a weekly chart, but I don't trade those charts, guys. I trade a 5-minute chart. As a result, I use indicators that are specifically designed for just that particular chart. Now, the 5 laws of consistent trading, very important, guys and girls. The 111 principle effectively means chase one rabbit. What does that mean? Get really, really good at one thing every day. So the 111 principle literally suggests I want you to trade one market, as in one trading session, using one strategy and going for one target. We want to target $100 per day as our profit. Walk away. We want to compound that over the next 3 to 5 years, which I'm about to talk to you about. Point number 2, what we want to do is we want to set a low, easily attainable and yet very exciting KPI. Now that, ladies and gents, is referred to as the 24/20 plan on the NASDAQ. I'll take you through that in a second. Suffice to say, $100 per day compounded very, very effectively over the next 3 to 5 years is very exciting. Guys, speaking of that, point number 3, we want to understand the power of compounding, guys, and the power of very, very short-term consistency leading to long-term profitability. Point number 4, we want to understand, ladies and gents, that your success rate in trading is the key to building a positive psychology, not your risk to reward ratio. Now, that being said, guys, what you don't want to do is you want to avoid putting a static filter over a dynamic market. That is a static filter such as, I'm not going to take this trade unless there's a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. As the market is not always perfect. The market doesn't always fall into that box, if you will. So instead, what we can do is say, you know what, we're going to take this trade, we're going to modify or manage the risk to reward ratio on the run. What that typically means in the live trading room every day, we will pick up a trade that's got a risk to reward ratio of at least 30 to 40 times in our favor once our risk is engineered. So you've got to be very, very careful, ladies and gents. Point number 4, not to fall into the trap of all of this hype out there on the internet about a 1-to-1 risk to reward. Now, point number 5, guys, we've got to be very, very careful to follow the zero comparison principle. Ultimately, what does that mean? We don't compare ourselves to other traders, particularly traders with significantly more experience than us in our journey to be a wonderful trader with Samurai. Now, As your daily KPI, is your number one key to success when you're trading with Samurai. Now, the key with that, if I may, as your daily KPI is your key performance indicator. This is a performance level designed by you that acts as a guidepost for you for the first 3 to 5 years of your journey as a professional trader. Now, a lot of people, ladies and gents, will say, well, 3 to 5 years, Lockie, is too much. So when we say, right, well, let's go for 3 to 5 months and then let's step down again 3 to 5 weeks. As if you can literally target $100 per day, maybe 4 days per week, and you can do that for 3 to 5 weeks, and then 3 to 5 months, and then 3 to 5 years, guys, you're on the path, guys, you're on the path because you're going to take advantage of compounding. Ultimately, what does this mean? When people come into trading, point number two, they think a simple KPI like $100 per day is simply too small. But guys, what I'm about to do, the activity I'm going to take you through, proves categorically that if you start with $100 per day and build from there, it can be absolutely amazing in 3 to 5 years. How are we going to do that? We're going to follow the 24-20 plan commonly used by the NASDAQ traders. Now, the NASDAQ is very, very popular as a trading foundation for new traders because it moves quickly, it produces profit quickly, and typically also produces a lot of trades on a daily basis. So what I'm going to do, ladies and gents, I'm going to grab the forecasting sheet. I'm going to show you what 3 to 5 years looks like with a start of $100 per day. And then we're going to build your knowledge and your expertise further by developing your trust in the art of compounding. So let me bring this Excel spreadsheet across and I'll show you exactly what I mean. All right, ladies and gents, here we are. We've basically got our forecasting sheet up. Now, not only is the forecasting sheet used as a training tool for setting KPIs and setting expectations as professional traders, but it's also used as a tool to reinforce the power of compounding. The reason being is there's a lot of people that come into the trading game suffer from this thing called FOMO, which is fear of missing out from an absolutely amazing trade. Speaking of the zero comparison principle, the reason we don't compare ourselves to other traders who may have significantly more experience than us is we normally compare ourselves to very, very high performing traders, like those, for example, in the live trading room doing, let's say, between $5,000 and $10,000 per day. You've been in the live trading room for 1 day, you immediately compare yourself to someone that's been in there for 7 or 8 years, and suddenly you feel negative about yourself, your experience, and your capability. Guys, instead of doing that, what we want to do is say, hey, that trader just earned $5,000 to $10,000. Isn't that exciting? I want to do what they're doing. Now, ultimately, what those experienced traders will be doing is they will be trading more contracts. So let me show you exactly what we mean by this. Now, our forecasting spreadsheet that was set for you here is set to a $5 tick value. What does that ultimately mean? We're going to be trading a one contract on the NASDAQ. We're going to be starting on one contract. We're going to be trading for 4 days a week, not 5, right? So 4 days a week, not 5. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to set our daily goal, as we're not going to get fancy here, we're going to set our daily goal at 20 ticks. Now, each tick, guys, on the NASDAQ is worth $5. So what I'm doing here by setting my goal of 20 ticks is I'm basically saying I'd like to start my career with $100 per day, please. That's it, $100 per day. Now, guys, we're going to start with an account value of $10,000. Now, again, if you don't have $10,000, guys, you can actually take part in the funding programs, which I can cover in a later webinar. Guys, they are actually on our website, but you can actually get funded. Guys, up to $250,000. So suffice to say, if you don't have the money to get started, don't worry about that, guys. We can put you in touch with a funding partner and get you funded that way. So I'm going to set, guys, your base account here is $10,000. We're going to step up a contract every 5,000. So basically, guys, if you were able to successfully trade your account from $10,000 up to $15,000, then you're allowed to go up to 2 contracts. If you add another $5,000, so you're at $20,000, you add another contract, and you slowly build up your contracts until you get to 20 contracts. Now we're going to set a goal in this activity of $100,000. So the question being is, Lockie, if I was to get 20 ticks a day on the NASDAQ only, which yesterday, for example, in the live trading room, we got over 200. So let's say I could set a goal of 20 ticks per day. I'm going to start on one contract. I'm only going to trade 4 days a week, not 5. and I'm going to all work my way up to 20 contracts. How long does it take me to get to 100,000 US dollars? Now, the reason we run this exercise, there's a lot of people out there in the game of trading, ladies and gents, who will tell you that 100 US dollars per day is not enough, Lockie. I need 400 to 500 US dollars per day. Guys, the purpose of the exercise is to show you how quickly you can get to 400 to 500 US dollars per day and use that money to migrate across to be a professional trader with Samurai. So we're going to go, guys, we'll have a look at a calendar year projection just down here. And the question is, to see this curve, this is basically your profit curve as it runs up the screen. I note with interest, ladies and gents, that if we start as we suggested with $10,000, we start with 10,000 US dollars. Let me just move my arrow there. We start with 10,000 US dollars. If you were to simply set a goal of 100 US dollars per day when you first start, and then slowly step up contracts as you get your account larger and larger, it's going to take you around about 9 months. Guys, if you use that method I showed you before, it's going to take around 9 months for you to grow from 10,000 US dollars, guys, up to 100,000 US dollars. Clearly, we're going significantly further than that. Now, what is this, guys? This is a compounding curve. One of the most important things about a compounding curve is that if you can simply, guys, achieve 20 ticks a day, 4 days a week, so it's called the 24-20 plan. If you can achieve 20 ticks a day, 4 days a week, and then slowly move your way up to 20 contracts, this is what your projection curve looks like. Now, what I do want to draw your attention to, ladies and gents, is something up here which I think is going to nail the lesson. Okay, so let me just move this for you. A lot of people say to me, Lockie, 100 US dollars per day, 4 days per week is not enough to keep me interested in trading. But I want to show you something here, ladies and gents, that may get you very interested. If you were to do 100 US dollars per day, 4 days per week in January, you're going to earn around about 3,000 US dollars or 3,500 US dollars. Now, you're probably looking at this saying, Lockie, these figures are not very exciting. As if we literally move down to around about 10 or so months into your trading journey, your $3,000 per month has become $30,000 per month. As this is when you're literally sitting in the game of professional traders. Why does this occur? Because even from a $3,500 start at the start of the year, you're looking at $30,000 towards the end of the year. As all you've done is say, Lockie, I want to take advantage of compounding. I want to average 20 ticks on the NASDAQ per day, 4 days per week. I'm going to start with a $10,000 account, even if that's funded by somebody else, and I'm going to aim to earn $100 per day and then stop. Eventually, that will become 2 contracts, $200 per day, 3 contracts, 300. It builds and builds and builds and builds, guys, until your KPI is sitting around about 2,000 US dollars per day. Now, ladies and gents, I find this compound curve, when I first wrote this Excel spreadsheet, I found this compound curve as an incredible training tool, because what it actually showed me is you can make a small amount of money on a daily basis, and as you earn the right to become a bigger trader, as you earn more money, you slowly but surely compound your performance, goes up to around about 100,000 US dollars per year. Now, as ironically, 100,000 US dollars per year doesn't change the world forever, but may I suggest it's a really, really great step in the right direction, because this compound curve just gets bigger and bigger the longer that you trade. So without any further delay, ladies and gents, I hope you find that a valuable training exercise. I certainly use this whenever I'm coaching anybody. We determine where they want to be, where they are at right now, and we join this curve to find out how we can get them to move in the right direction. So let's move on to the next video, guys. We'll start to break down this Samurai thing in more detail for you. I hope that we are cutting through the hype, as I hope we're informing you about why we do what we do. And at the end of the day, guys, I hope that you are attracted to the live trading room as a way to get you moving in this game of professional trading. So let's move on to the next video.